Hey guys, Alex Falaktu here. Back at it. Well, first off, I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. Hope you guys had a great, December 31st and January 1st. Yesterday was very recovery day for some of us. But today I just want to do a quick video. Actually, not so quick, but a quick video about overcoming a fear of failure. This is going to be more about facing your fears and moving forward. In this, I'm going to go over a little bit about the causes of fear of failure, some of the signs of fear of failure, and a few ways to overcome, that fear of failure. So let's jump right into it. Facing your fears and moving forward. I mean, have you ever been so afraid at failing at something that you didn't even try? I mean, has it ha, have it have you has your fear of failure subconsciously, undermined your own efforts to avoid looking stupid, or to avoid, feeling inadequate, or to avoid the possibility of a larger failure? Most of us, myself included, have experienced this at one time, one or another. This has happened to us before. The fear of failure, the fear of failing it can be immobilizing, and it can do. The worst part about it is that it causes us to do nothing except resist moving forward, and that's what we have to get over in this new year. We have to get over that fear of failure, because when we allow fear to stop our forward progress in life, we're likely to miss out on many great opportunities that come along the way. Now, in this video, I'm going to dive into the fear of failure, what it means, what causes it, and how to overcome it to enjoy success in your network marketing business. All right. So, starting with the causes of fear of failure. To find the cause of your fear of failure, we first need to understand what failure actually means. What does failure mean to you? Take a second and write it down. Define it. Think about it in your head. What does failure actually mean to you? Because we all have different definitions of failure, simply because we all have different, values and belief systems. A failure to one person might be, a great learning experience for somebody else. And honestly, that's the way that I look at things. And that's the way that I think you guys should definitely look at things. Because even if, I mean, all of us, we're afraid of failing at least some of the time. But when that fear actually stops you from doing the things that can, move you towards your goals, that there's an actual term for it. I think it's like a titchyphobia, or something like that, a tickyphobia, something like that. But that fear of failure can be linked to many different causes, actually. You can have, for instance, critical or unsupportive parents is a cause for some people. People who were routinely undermined or humiliated during childhood, they carry those negative feelings into adulthood. If you've ever experienced a traumatic event at some point in your life, that can also be a cause of your fear of failure. For example, say several years ago you gave a very important presentation in front of a large group of people and you did very bad. Just that experience might have been so terrible that you developed a fear about other things. And even now, years later, you're still carrying that fear. But just to determine whether or not you are suffering from a fear of failure, here are a couple of signs. A reluctance to try new things. Also, an example of self-sabotaging yourself would be procrastination, excessive anxiety, failure to follow through with your goals and your goal setting. I must say that I suffer from a lot of this. I procrastinate way too much, and that needs to stop. And that's why I'm doing this video about fear of failure. People if you have low self-esteem or self-confidence, if you're using type of statements, negative statements such as "I'll never be good enough to get that promotion," or "I'm not smart enough to get to that position," "I don't know the right people," those are all, negative statements from having a low self-esteem or low self-confidence. And another sign of fear of failure, which I suffer from heavily, is perfectionism. A willingness to try only those things that you'll finish perfectly and successfully. and that's definitely held me back in a lot of things that I've done in my life. Like, I won't put out, like, my website's been, I've been working on my website forever because I can't get it to be exactly how I want it to be, but that doesn't matter anymore. I've realized it's up. AlexFlockto.com. Go check it out. We're going to be putting up blog posts. I have actually, if you're in network marketing and you're looking to for some scripts on how to, to help boost your prospecting results, go to my website, alexflockto.com, enter your name and your email, and I'll send you over 15 prospecting scripts that'll help boost those results for you. All right? Now back to failure. Failure is all a matter of perspective. It's impossible to go through life without experiencing some kind of failure. I mean, people who do not experience failure, they're probably living so cautiously that they get nowhere in life. They're not living at all. The wonderful thing about failure that I think, and I take pride in this, is that it's entirely up to you on how you look at it, how you decide to look at it. You can choose to see failure as the end of the world, or just as proof as how inadequate we are, or we can look at it as an incredible learning experience that it actually most of the time is. Every time we fail at something, we can choose to look for the lesson we're meant to learn. These lessons are very, very important, guys. They're how we grow. They're how we keep from making that same mistake again. What do they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If you make the same mistake again, then you're not learning from it. But don't put yourself down on that. Look back on both times you made that same mistake. Maybe there was a different cause for that failure. You never know. Failures stop us only when we let them. Now, just to bring up a couple, very important people that I know you guys might actually know. Michael Jordan, considered to be one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He will be passed, though, by Kobe Bryant if he comes back strong. I will get hate mail for that. And yet, he was cut from his high school basketball team because his coach didn't think he had enough skill. Can you believe that? Imagine if Michael Jordan had given up on his dream to play basketball when he was cut from that team. Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest and most successful businessmen, didn't get into Harvard. I bet you they're crying about that right now. They would love to have a Harvard grad, Warren Buffett as a Harvard alumni. Richard Branson, owner of the Virgin Empire, Virgin Mobile, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Records, the Empire. He's a high school dropout. Imagine if Richard Branson had listened to the people who told him he'd never do anything worthwhile without his high school diploma. Think of all the opportunities you'll miss if you let your failures stop you. I mean, they can teach us things about ourselves that we would never have learned otherwise. Excuse me. Now, valuable insights come after failure. You have to understand that accepting and learning from those insights is key to succeeding in life. Now a couple tips to help you overcome that fear of failure. It's important to realize that in everything we do, there's always a chance that you can fail. Facing that chance and embracing it is not just courageous, but it will lead to a more full and rewarding life. A few ways to reduce the fear of failing, and it really boils down to one, is to analyze all potential outcomes. Many people, we experience fear of failure because they fear the unknown. Get rid of that fear. Remove it. Consider all the possible outcomes, and then what's there. And then once you know everything that could happen, you can't be afraid of the unknown. You can't be, you never know what's gonna. They say you never know what's gonna happen until it does. Well, you could if you analyze and think about all the potential outcomes of your decision, and map it out visually if you need to. That will eliminate that fear of the unknown. Now, after you do analyze all the potential outcomes, you need to learn to think more positively. Positive thinking is an incredible way to build your self-confidence and to neutralize your self-sabotage. There's an article called Thought Awareness, Rational Thinking, and Positive Thinking, and it's a resource on learning how to change your thoughts. I'll post up a link about that later at the bottom of this video. But you want to look at the worst case scenario after you've analyzed all your potential outcomes, and in some cases, in most cases, the worst case scenario is really not that bad. I mean, in some cases, the worst case scenario may be, genuinely horrible, disastrous, And that's perfectly it's perfectly rational to fear that type of failure. But in other cases, in most cases, however, the worst case scenario may not actually be that bad. And recognizing this can actually help by analyzing all the potential outcomes and then thinking more positively. Thinking like, instead of all these little bad things that could happen, look at the good that can happen. Now, one last thing is to have a contingency plan. Now, I'm not a fan of having a contingency plan because I'm the type of person that says having a plan B only distracts from plan A. But what if your plan B was just another way to get to plan A? Then I'm all for the contingency plan. If you're afraid of failing at something, have that plan B. But have plan B be pointed in the same direction as plan A. Don't be like, oh, this isn't working. I'm just going to turn around and go back this way. This must be a better way. A lot of people see they see success and failure on two opposite sides of the spectrum, and that's wrong. If you talk to any successful person, they ran through failure after failure after failure after failure to get to success. It's failure, success. A lot of people, they stop right when they're failing and they think, damn, I got to turn around and go the other way because that's where the success is. No, that's wrong. You have to keep pushing through. You have to learn from those failures. And once you break that wall, a lot of people, they're 90% of the way there. They just needed an extra 10% push. Once you get to that extra 10% and you push through and you go from you to failure to success, don't we meet our goals then? I mean, if you have a fear of failure, you might be a little bit uncomfortable setting goals, but goals help us define where we want to go in life. Without goals, where are you going? Simple as that. Where are you going if you don't have a goal? Start off, if you have that fear of setting goals, start off by setting small goals. A few small goals. They should be slightly challenging, but not overwhelmingly challenging. Think of these goals as, early wins. They're designed to help boost your confidence. Even if you know that you're only doing these small little steps to help boost your confidence, it works. It works. For example, if you've been too afraid to talk to, that new department head who has the power to give you the promotion you want at your job, then make that your first goal. Plan to stop by their office during the next week just to introduce yourself. Or imagine that you've dreamed of starting your own business, but you're convinced that you're not smart enough, and you don't have the connections. Well, set a goal to talk with a business consultant, or a broker to see what's required to actually get the spot and get the business up and running that you want to get running. Try to make your goals tiny steps on the route to a much bigger goal. Don't focus on the end picture. Having the multi-million dollar business. Just focus on the next step. Introducing yourself, to the business consultant. Go and talking to that department head. That's it. Take small steps in the beginning. But that will, lead up to your, end goal. I hope you guys got some value out of this. I got a couple key points I wanted to go over. Remember, guys, many of us, we are going to experience failure. But you can't be afraid of it. You can't let a fear of failure stop you from moving forward. All right? That fear of failure can have many causes, from something that happened to you as a kid to something that happened to you yesterday. But it's important. It's so important. You have to realize that we have a choice. You can choose to be afraid, or you can choose not to be. Start by setting those small goals that help build your confidence. Learn how to explore and evaluate all the possible outcomes, and develop contingency plans that are congruent with what you're trying with your original plan. And practice thinking positively. By moving forward slowly but steadily, you'll begin to overcome your fear of failure. And sooner or later, that slowly but steadily will turn into very, very quickly and exponentially. I hope you guys got some value out of this. If you did, please comment below, like us, like on Facebook. And like I said before, if you're in network marketing and you're looking for a couple scripts to help boost your prospecting results, go to alexvlog2.com. There's a free audio. Just enter your name and your email. It's 15 prospecting scripts that'll help you boost your MLM success. I hope you guys are going to have a awesome new year, because I plan on having an awesome new year. Remember, guys, until next time, don't be good, be great.